Hey, welcome back to the Ping Pong Flix Show. My name is Chris Wong. This is episode 425 of the Ping Pong Flix Show. Let's get with some DC updates. The first one up. It's all about Joker. I did my spoiler talk review last night, so hopefully you went out and checked that out. If you'd watched the movie, it's one of my highest recommended movies this year, and probably right now still like one of my favorite movies of this year. But officially, Joker has surpassed Deadpool and Deadpool 2, including the re-release of Deadpool 2, to become the biggest, highest R-rated movie of all time. Amazing feat for the Joker movie, coming off at a $55 million budget. That is incredible. And Gidesh Panya also wants to state how important, how incredibly successful this movie is without China's involvement. When you remove China from the global box office totals, Joker is not allowed to open there, and you'll see how impressive its run has been so far versus recent DC hits. Without China, $862 million Aquaman, $852 million Joker in its fourth week, $778 million Batman v Superman, $747 Suicide Squad, $733 Wonder Woman, $605 million Man of Steel, and of course, $553 million for a Justice League movie. Notice that difference right here, okay? A movie that was sabotaged by a film committee made the least out of all those DC hits. Of course, we don't see Shazam on there at all. Shazam is the lowest common denominator here, but it was still profitable, but it was like way lower. But Justice League, oh my god, what happened? And that was the most expensive because of the reshoots here, right? So Joker 852 is amazing, and I want to throw this in here that looking at Batman v Superman without China being able to get to 778 million is no easy feat, okay? That's no easy feat, and I think we should. That's something that a lot of people trying to just painted as unsuccessful and didn't work. But yeah, it didn't make $1 billion, but it did go up to 778. I just want to put it out there. But it's all about Joker. $852 million. It's great. Must be very profitable for Warner Brothers. They must be super stoked about these numbers, and maybe not. Well, according to the Wall Street Journal now, allow me to read you this article because it's a big joke. It's actually kind of hilarious. Warner Brothers faces big profit share on record-setting Joker haul. Okay, record returns for Joker have the movie's backers laughing their way to the bank, but the studio that made the film, Warner Brothers, could have reaped even bigger profits if it hadn't unloaded a substantial share of the film to outside investors, according to people familiar with terms of the film's financing. What? Okay, what? So I'm going to go a little further down here, all right? A little further down here. As it turned out, Joker has resonated with audiences across the globe. I think Joker worked with people who are fascinated with this character. The source material was great. The film also is very different from all other movies out right now, said the Eric Handler, an analyst at equity research firm. But the film's uniqueness was initially met with skepticism. Before moving forward, Warner Brothers executives enlisted Braun Studios and Village Roadshow Pictures as financial partners to help share the film's risk, with each shouldering between 20% and 25% of its roughly $60 million production budget, according to another of the people familiar with the matter. The studio previously shared the spoils on the Dark Knight Batman trilogy with Legendary Pictures, which helped finance hit the films. After that, Warner Brothers committed to a strategy of accepting only limited outside financial backing on its most promising releases, such as DC Comics and Harry Potter. But the outside backers on Joker stand to take home together between 40% and 50% of the film's profits. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Okay, this is amazing how Warner Brothers did not think that Joker was going to do good. So instead of putting all that money worth into it to say 50 million, and I was joking around, right? I was joking around saying that it's $55 million. It's like a, kind of money just to make something. But it's even worse now, guys. It's even worse now. Instead of putting all in, their own chips all in, and saying, Todd Phillips, go make the movie you want to make. Let's try it out. Here's just a measly, it's not a measly, but compared to like giant blockbuster films, 50 something million. Come on. So instead of going all in, they decided to get two other investors involved, each taking about 20 to 25% of that risk, and then at the end share it all, because they think they weren't going to make any money out of this. They were like, nah, I don't think anybody's going to, Todd, I don't think anybody's going to watch this thing. So, we're just going to put in some, we're going to do 50 million. Hey, Braun Studios, Village Roadshow, what do you think? You want to just kind of pitch in for us and put this together? How dumb are you guys, Warner Brothers? Look at this right now. Huge slap in the face. No wonder Warner Brothers is being pretty quiet about being happy about the film's success. Usually when the film's success and you see the box office numbers, you see a Warner Brothers statement saying, we are definitely happy with this. You know why they're not happy? Because it's a huge slap in the face. They just realized they could have got 100% of that Infinity War profit, but instead they shared it with two other investors. And those guys are raking in because they just put money in there. Oh my God, what a dumb studio. This is almost like karma hitting them in the face, apparently. They put so much money in sabotaging Justice League that they didn't want to put out for Joker. And then in the end, they couldn't reap the rewards that Joker, a fully director-driven movie, rated R, dark, serious tone DC movie, made Infinity War profits. Justice League barely made it to 500, barely made it to the Man of Steel numbers. Okay? This is utter, I don't know what's going to happen after this, because Joker was, kind of green lit, probably even during the time of Kevin Sujihara, but Toby Emmerich was fully involved in that. That guy has got to go. I thought he was going to be saved, but I'm wondering, and I'm hoping sometimes that they're looking at this and says, Toby, you made a terrible bad decision here. I think it's his decision. He is the CEO, not the CEO, but he's like the the person in charge of the Warner Brother Pictures, right? I don't know. What do you think, right? This is spectacularly bad for whoever made the decision to not go all in on Joker, and instead try to split the shares, split the risk, and fell flat on their face because they could have made 100% of that. That was a bad gamble on their part. It was a good gamble in actually greenlighting Joker, but it was a bad gamble on their part. So out of this, I don't know who's going to get kicked out, or if anybody ever will. I hope Toby Emmerich at least sees the light, or whoever's in charge of this sees the light and says, hey, we got to financially back our these risks, because I think we can make it happen. I think these movies can be very good, and I think we should put a lot more effort into telling these directors that, yeah, We're absolutely going to do it, and digging into your own pockets to put that out. I mean, was a blunder. You know, it was terrible. It was a maybe share it to one, maybe 20% to one studio, but you're sharing it to two. You're splitting it three ways. Actually, more than that. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. And I hope someone's slapping someone's face. I don't know if Ant's trying to start slapping other Warner Brother Pictures people's faces right now, but I hope something like that is happening. I hope they wake up. Wake up and look at the numbers here. Look at the domestic box office. Look at what people want to see. Look at that. Don't think about the bloggers. Don't think about the critics. Think about the audience. Think about the fans. And I hate to say it, but it just numbers shows that they are interested in a DCEU, and a lot of it's interested. A lot of the ones that are hitting home, you know, are the dark and serious ones. Aquaman is a huge success. I tell you that. I give you that. But even that came off of Snyder's vision in a way, right? So, but just look at those numbers. Joker, director-driven film. Justice League, sabotaged by a film by committee. That should show you right now what you should be really thinking about, the people that are in your studio making the dumbest decisions ever, right? There's only one person left. And his first name rhymes with Moby. So anyway, but for Joker in itself, for Todd Phillips and Joaquin Phoenix, I think this is an incredible feat, and congratulations to you all. Now, we're still waiting for other movies in the, other characters to be made. One of them is my all-time favorite, which is, this guy, right, not that guy, but right next to him, Superman. There's no Superman movie to be announced, although they are announcing, Hollywood Reporter is reporting that Superman and Lois, starring Tyler Hoechlin and Elizabeth Tulloch as the title characters, in development at the CW. Why am I sharing this? Well, I'm like, I'd rather really have the Brandon Routh series. I think Brandon Routh never got a chance to become more Superman. So I would rather have like a short, limited Kingdom Come series on DC Universe or HBO Max. Something that's way better. I mean, the CW can come off as cringy. It can come off as there are some moments in there that are like, oh, that was a great moment. But for the most part, it's very cringy. And his Superman is not written very well. He is a jobber to Supergirl. He only is there to lift up Supergirl by being depowered himself, right? And I didn't like that. I don't like this interpretation of Superman. Now, granted, his own series, the writers have a chance to make him powerful again, have a chance to be the main character. Although some have said it says Superman and Lois, so maybe Lois will actually be more, best him in a way as a character. So it's still not going to be a Superman-centric story at that. But we'll see, and I hope the best for that guy, and I hope the best for Superman and Lois. At least there is more Superman content out there. Not in the movieverse. Why am I talking about this? Well, there is that understanding or thinking that when a Superman TV series comes out or a Batman TV series comes out, there is no Superman movie. There's no Superman. Their usage of that character is only reserved for either TV, and once that's out, then we'll have the movie. Which history shows it's kind of like that, but I don't know if it's the legalities of that. I'm not familiar with the trademarks or anything on if they were allowed to have a Superman movie and a Superman TV show. I mean, in terms of comic bookness, And in terms of audience, I think people do understand the difference between a TV show and a movie. And at the same time, as a character, there's multiverse, so there's different versions of Superman in the different multiverse. So I don't see that being a much of a problem. We did have at one point Smallville was still in the running, and Superman Returns came out in 2006. So there is that that still happens. Bruce Wayne is Batman in the Titans, and there's a Matt Reeves the Batman coming out. So I don't know if that is a problem. I don't have the legalities in front of me to maybe hit on that effect. So I'm not totally worried that them doing a CW show means that we can't have a Superman movie. I still think there's a huge chance that we're going to have a Superman movie. It's such a license that I think it's a big character that Warner Brothers is dumb enough not to touch. Although during the beginning of this video, I did prove that they were pretty dumb. So I don't know, but we'll see what happens with that. But I just want to touch base on that. Superman is my all-time favorite character. I don't really care for Tyler Hoechlin's portrayal so far, but hey, if the writers are able to work wonders in this new TV series, then I'm all for it. Okay, but I would have wanted Brandon Routh, just a little bit. A little bit more. but and being on HBO Max or something. But speaking of HBO Max, there is that one thing coming out tomorrow, and it is the HBO Max reveal. It's the HBO Max's media day, if you will. This is the streaming war. Spotlight is shifting to AT&T owned WarnerMedia on Tuesday, October 29th, which is tomorrow. By the time you hear this, it will be today in the afternoon at the Warner Brothers lot in Burbank, California. They're going to unveil its over-the-top entry, HBO Max, and they're going to totally invest in service, which will have around, they're saying, 10,000 hours of content upon its debut. So there's going to be a lot of things in here. The Big Bang Theory, Sesame Street, Strange, Perfect Strangers, I heard, which is actually, I'm kind of looking forward to that one. As nostalgia value there. The pricing and things like that. So that will be tomorrow. That will be kind of excitement. I'm really interested to see if there are any DC content that's going to be arriving tomorrow during that Media Day event. And if there is, then that would be a great thing. That would be a great plus for us to kind of see what they're going to do tomorrow. Is there going to be a Snyder Cut? I don't know. And I can't tell you that. I have no idea. And I know a lot of people are asking me about what that thing I know has to do with either October 29th or November 17th. And I'm going to say no. It has nothing to do with the release date at all. So no, I don't know anything about October 29th or November 17th. Do I wish it could happen? Yeah, absolutely. I wish tomorrow I'll be running around in the streets shouting out, yeah, we got the Snyder Cut, or something. I absolutely am looking forward to seeing if that actually does happen. I have no idea. It will be cool. I mean, it'll be something smart for once that Warner Brothers and HBO Max would do to get people on subscribing to this platform, would to add the Snyder Cut to that 10,000 hours of content. That would be the smart thing to do. But as I've proved from the beginning, Warner Brothers is, at least before, have not been very smart. So we'll see what happens with that. But I am interested and intrigued to see what happens for HBO Max in terms of that, and that's tomorrow. Whether we have some DC content on there, it could be like mini movies, things like, because they're trying to, fight off Disney Plus, right? What is Disney Plus doing? They're putting out Marvel mini movies and stuff onto that show. So maybe DC is going to do the same. Who knows? Maybe Swamp Thing's going to come back. Krypton is going to come back, and things like that. So I'm very intrigued to see what happens with that. Now, like I said, I don't know if anything of the Snyder Cut will come out. I know a person had posted this video. It's from Jason Momoa's Instagram. Well, this is it. This is the video.
I love Jimmy because I love beating him up and I just love Jimmy. And but there's a lot of things I had to cancel because it's important for me to be home, so I'm gonna take off first thing in the morning. Also, I deleted something from my Instagram because I'm just very excited and I wasn't supposed to post that yet. So there's something really cool that's gonna happen when I get back to LA. If you thought SNL was good, you better just look out, man. Coming at you. It's coming. Wave of change is coming, Honolulu.
So you see that and you're thinking, well, what's coming? Is it coming? And things like that. And at first I was kind of like, oh, I'm kind of intrigued by this. What does he mean? What's coming? Now, I've always known, Jason Momoa to be a very much of a hype guy, right? He's always a hype man. Almost like everything in his life could be potentially really exciting for him. And he's doing a lot of things, right? Things like that. Now, towards the end of the video, you see that those words pop up and he says to himself, Mananalu. And that actually refers to that water project that he had, where he wants to be able to put water in a can because it's easily the aluminum is much more recyclable than a plastic water bottle, which will take many years in order to biodegrade that or recycle that actually. So he wants to put it in a can, and I think and he's coming to LA, so it could be that he's in the process of showing that the first container or whatever is being shipped out to a certain store or whatever. So that could just be what that actually is all about. Nothing to do with the Snyder Cut, nothing like that, or any even movies or anything like that, as this is one of his big projects he wants to do in order to keep plastic water bottles out of the ocean, plastic water bottles out of distribution, and that because aluminum cans are easier to recycle and the metal is easier to recycle and much more feasible for that than the plastic water bottle. So and I'm also wondering, man, I can't wait to see if any of that shows up in the Hawaii stores and Hawaii distributors. I know a bunch of brokers, so I will be kind of interested to see if there's an opening to be a broker for it. So but I want to see what that's about as well. Like I said, it kind of coincides with tomorrow's HBO Max, and it could very be a coincidence, but anything like that, cross our fingers in any way to see what happens with that, but don't hold your breath. And excited to see what comes up for HBO Max at the Warner Brothers lot in Burbank, California. All right, guys, well, that is it for tonight. Thank you so much for subscribing. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time.